Hi, and welcome to an Organized Chaos podcast. I'm Bobby Quarters. Chaos is here with me as well. We just wanted to thank you for watching.
Yes. Hey, Bobby.
And hey, and while you're here, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on YouTube as well as Chaos and the podcast channel, which all three of those channels will be streaming this very show you're about to watch. All these counselors start dropping dead, left and right. Heinous killings. Turns out, that kid drowned the year before. His mother came back to that camp and exacted revenge.
I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Right. Fucking thing sucks.
Yes. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill.
Yes, the fucking thing sucks.
Is it nice for Bill O'Reilly to give us an intro every time?
That is.
It's probably the only nice thing he's ever done in his life.
I mean, we can try. We can try to see if we can conjure Rush Limbaugh from the inner circles of hell.
God. Yeah, it's about the same, really. So.
No, I mean, I'm just. That's wishful thinking of me hoping that he is rotting in hell right now.
Well,
I still have yet to piss on his grave, though.
Yeah, kind of. That does seem like a good bucket list thing to do. I never thought about that. But I think that
pissing on his grave. Yes, list. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's totally fucking worth it.
We could start the GoFundMe now for the bail money.
So yes, a lot of you guys might be watching and be kind of shocked. It's like, oh my god, I actually did a stream because I had to cancel my last 2 streams. This is madness, but yes, I can actually stream today. Nothing has come up. Just finished watching Last of Us. Pretty much just finished watching Andor as well. And I saw Thunderbolts last night, so I am ready to stream. How are you doing, Bobby?
I'm okay. I had a lot of running around. My folks are about to go on a trip over to the UK, so
ooh, that sounds exciting.
I had to kind of help them a lot with stuff today, so I'm not on camera for that reason because I literally just had time to set up my microphone and I'm a little wore out. So
I gotcha. You might have noticed there wasn't a big people watching might have noticed there wasn't a big old formal intro, and that's because I'm a little wore out too, just working and getting through everything, and yay. And WoW is bringing up something. This is episode 199.
199.
And I cannot wait because that means next week we'll be doing episode 201. And we can finish off Andor. That's exciting.
The fuck we are.
No. We got the 200th episode special. We're going to be talking about, yes. I think right now on the agenda, it's Shawshank, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and
the one that you good people picked.
Yes, Pluto, The Adventures of Pluto, which I've never watched The Adventures of Pluto.
Which we have to thank our fans so much for selecting such a fine choice of cinema.
You know what? Eddie Murphy has quite a period in the 90s where he was producing shit. But
you know what?
I do like Eddie Murphy. So
you know what? That's a fair statement and everything.
Yeah.
But have you actually watched Vampire of Brooklyn?
No.
I think it's underappreciated.
Well, he actually did one.
I
Like a
genuinely feel that one is underappreciated.
There's another one he did that I thought was underappreciated too. Have you ever seen Metro?
Yeah, I want to say yes.
Yeah, no.
What about
That's
Harlem
like
Nights? Was that 90s or 80s? I think that was 80s.
I think that was 80s. That was decent as well. But
That,
like
well, I mean,
Metro,
yeah, it's been prior, yeah.
Metro is just like a solid cop drama, and I think that one got panned because everybody was expecting Axel Foley, and it's like he has a couple jokes, but it's not really a comedy. It's more an action movie.
Oh, I'll talk to you about this later. But yeah.
Ooh, okay. But we do have topics for the show today. Obviously, we're going to be talking about Thunderbolts, and I'll go ahead and let the audience know. Like, we're going to save that for the end because there's a whole bunch of really big spoilers I desperately want to talk about with that movie. Because holy crap! But we'll open that. I'll give you kind of my broad thoughts, some stuff that I feel I can talk about that's really not spoiler laden, and then we'll go ahead and give you guys spoiler warnings and just fucking dive into it. But then we also are going to talk about Andor. But before we talk about either of those, we're going to go ahead and talk about the first 4 episodes of season 2 of The Last of Us. Be positive 99. But we aren't really talking about Avengers Doomsday. That
has yet to come out.
Yeah, we are getting to Thunderbolts though.
That's a fascinating claim too. Yeah,
2020. I mean, I saw New Mutants, and I guess I could see, like, we'll get into it, but like I could see the mental health connection you're making, but
yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah,
we'll get to it then. But that's also
because
a bold claim about the Doomsday, though. I'd love to hear where your source is on that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're making that one up, but but yeah, so the first 4 episodes of Last of Us, like, there's definitely spoilers with this, but I don't know how much in the way there are, because like I know the big spoiler of this season was something that I just fucking knew because the Chuds talked about it non-fucking stop because they were so offended by it.
What are they angry about this show? Like, I don't understand their hate. Well, I could assume where their hatred for this show comes from, and it's probably just the actor Bella Ramsey, just as the person.
Well, I mean, it's kind of more mutated from the game because they really hated Last of Us Part 2, and I guess spoiler warning, but like everybody kind of knows it at this point. So like early in Last of Us Part 2, Joel dies, and they got all offended over that because it's it got him in the feels, and they're like, oh my god, he didn't deserve to die. They're killing off the whole narrative. They're killing off the male characters and replacing them with the women characters, and all that jazz, all the usual crap from them. Now I had never played the games. Do you have any experience?
Neither have I.
Bobby? Yeah.
No, and I'll be very blunt about this. I kind of it makes it hard for me to be invested in this series because I haven't played the game. So it's like I don't care.
Yeah.
But like not in like a way of just like where it goes or anything like that. It's just more of like I also have this. I guess my thought process towards these kind of I know they're not zombies. I'm going to say that right now.
They are kind of zombies, but yeah, they aren't technically. They aren't.
But I kind of feel that whenever this format is tried, it's no matter what, you either end up doing a cheap imitation of what George Romero has already covered, or you just shit the bed with it, with your own attempt at it. And this is maybe my own bias towards that style of horror and everything, but I just really feel that like Walking Dead, for example, I feel that they shit the bed with that. And
yeah, they definitely did. I would argue that
I
this is
barely got
not
through the first
remotely
season
there.
of it. No, it's not quite there, but I just
You see,
the
I
human
love the
drama,
first season of
the human versus human drama, and then
Mhm.
it goes on to like with the threat of the zombies there. Like if I
Mhm.
wanted to see that, I'll just fucking watch Day of the Dead where that format was done perfectly. And
Yeah.
that's just my philosophy on it. But
You see, I love the first season of Walking Dead, even though like it's
I
only fucking
I couldn't.
it's only 6 episodes, but I love the first season of Walking Dead, and then
I
season 2 just fucking
shit the bed.
yeah.
Shit the bed. Shit the bed. Yeah.
Season 2 is rough, and then it like I stuck that series. I want to say through like 7 fucking seasons. And like there's some that are better and some that are worse, but like
I barely made it 3 episodes.
like I said, I really liked season 1. I kept on hoping it could reclaim season 1's glory, and it never fucking came close. There are some better seasons, some worse seasons, but it got really fucking redundant. Like I can tell you the story of Walking Dead pretty much right now. A group goes to a town. Rick decides he can't trust people and has to take direct leadership over everybody. Things go wrong. There's somebody in the town who makes everything go awry. They leave the town. Rick realizes that he has to trust people and they have to work together. They go to a new town. Rinse and fucking repeat. Just you can replace town with prison, encampment, whatever the fuck. Like it was so fucking redundant. It was driving me insane. So, but yeah, it was frustrating. This like, I think the only like, I'll go ahead and say I think I definitely like this more than you, but I will say because I saw the Joel stuff coming, and I still thought it was
I knew it was
really
coming.
fucking well handled.
Yeah, so did I. So did I.
Like that actually kind of brought a tear to my eye. I was like, holy shit! I knew that was happening, and I still was kind of like, no, don't. But like the way they had it set up, essentially, you have Ellie who is immune. And the Fireflies figure out a way to use her immunity to essentially save the world, but would cost her life. And Ellie was willing to sacrifice her life. And Joel wasn't. So he killed just a whole bunch of fucking Fireflies and saved her life. And there's a price to be paid for that. Like as a parent, because like obviously Joel sees Ellie as his daughter at this point. As a parent, I 100% understand why he did that. But you also condemn the fucking world. There's a price to be paid. And, it's a sad price, but I think the show does it really well. And now it's dealing with this revenge arc with, Abby killed Joel because Joel killed the doctor who was working on Ellie, who was Abby's father. So it's a revenge story for Abby, and now it's a revenge story for Ellie, who's tracking down Abby and her friends with her, I guess, minor spoilers here, crush, now girlfriend. And I do think it's interesting to see how that path goes forward. Overall, I like this storyline. I know, like I'm looking at, I'm like, I feel like I would be happy if this ended with season 2 because I like what they're doing, but I feel like you don't want to stretch this out too long. Don't become the fucking Walking Dead. Oh my God, don't do that. I know it's renewed for one more season, and I even though I'm enjoying it, I hope that's it. I don't want to go on too much longer. Just kind of figure out good stories and wrap it up. Turf Nation's still floating around. He's not super active, but he's floating around. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. Like overall, I'm enjoying it, but I don't want to get too long-winded. There's 2 actors who I wasn't expecting this season, who I'm really one who I'm really enjoying her performance, and then the other one we haven't really gotten much of a chance to see him, but I'm excited to see more. Catherine O'Hara as the town therapist, who it's wild. Like I think she's doing I think she's a good therapist who's doing a bad job, because she keeps on talking about how she's frazzled, and as a therapist she's supposed to talk to other therapists to kind of get her bearings, and she can't do that, so she just drinks and smokes weed, and hey, that's fun, but that's not really a treatment. And I think I really like her performance. Like, she really sells that, like, she is not handling this well. And then the other actor who popped up just in the last episode is Jeffrey Wright. Another actor
I was surprised
really,
about
really
him.
like. Yeah.
That I was like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah. Because like Ellie and Dina, who's her crush / girlfriend, are kind of looking for Abby, and they're stumbling into this like civil war between these groups called I don't think they call themselves the Scabs, but they're referred to as Scabs, and the Wolves. And I'm not sure. The Scabs seem like very religious and kind of backwards in their thinking, and the Wolves seem kind of fucked up. So like, I'm not sure if there's anybody to root for in that struggle, but like, they're obviously getting into the middle of that, and we'll see how that works out. But yeah, Jeffrey Wright has been presented as one of the leaders, if not the leader of the Wolves. He's always a good actor, so I'm interested to see more of his performance. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. Anything you want to add, Bobby?
No, I was happy to see Jeffrey Wright in this. I'm a fan of his.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, no, so far I'm liking where it's going, but like I said, just I have my issues with stuff that try and do that. But again, that's just my own bias.
Well, I mean, I do get it too, because George A. Romero kind of invented the zombie genre, and he did it so fucking well. So it's like, I get it, because it's like, even if
Can't
like
reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, like when I thought about doing zombie, like when I always am pondering, should I do a screenplay? And I've pondered doing zombie stuff. And every time I do, I'm just like, well, fuck, I'm just retreading fucking George Romero at this point. So every time I'm going through a story in my head, it just ends up right in there.
And no matter what, it's inevitable. Like, that's just going to happen.
Yes. He just did it. Yeah, it's not saying all his stuff was perfect, but like,
no.
Honestly, I feel like he had 4 really solid zombie movies, because honestly, I thought Land of the Dead was totally decent. I know.
Yeah.
Even though that one's much newer, but yeah, I mean, Night of the Living Dead.
Well, there's a few more he did after that.
Yes, there is, but
there's like the Diary of the Dead, which is kind of like a found footage sort of
that
thing.
One. Yeah,
neither was I. It was a little underwhelming, but I still enjoyed it.
But yeah, Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead are classics. Dawn of the Dead is kind of, for me, like the pinnacle zombie movie, to be honest. It's like fucking insanely good.
Yeah.
And then Day of the Dead is very solid as well. That one is one I didn't really like when I first watched it, but grew on me. And then Land of the Dead's much newer, but like, it works as well. That one's definitely a class commentary thing that works well.
Yeah. And especially for the time period of which it came out too.
Mm-hmm. No vaccine would save it. Mikael, like, if they actually developed a vaccine, yes, that would resolve a lot of the issues. I mean, an argument can be made they don't have a real clear system for distribution. There are issues that we could talk about, but like, the fact is, like, there is a potential solution, and Ellie was willing to sacrifice herself for it, and Joel wasn't. You know, there is a moral ambiguity to it all. But yeah. I overall think it's a good series. I think how they handled Joel was quite well. You know, you gotta kill him off because you gotta give him in Fantastic Four. So,
well, yeah,
which we will not to get too far into it, but it will be brought up later.
No, yeah, but yeah, I'll admit, as soon as that happened, I was like, wow, I already want that bitch to die.
Oh yeah, no, like like Ellie is like, I can already tell the theme of the series about the revenge and how fucking useless it is, because it just nonstop revenge seeking. But at the same time, I was also like in Ellie's shoes, just like, oh, fucking kill her, you know. Because like I said, even though like Joel condemned the world, I understand why he did it. As a parent, I understand that completely. Was it the right thing to do? Probably not, but like as a parent, I get it. Are we ready to move on to Andor?
Yeah, let's get on to Andor.
Has your opinion improved at all, Bobby?
I liked more what they did with this one.
I will say there was definitely a bit more going on with this one. The kind of elaboration of the Gorman plot. We do get some Saw Gerrera in here, who I'm always down for Forrest Whitaker. Maybe not Battlefield Earth Forrest Whitaker, but you know, actual semi giving a shit Forrest Whitaker I'm down for. Oh wait.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it.
Oh, yeah, I just saw the private chat. But yeah, like I again, I'm still on board with this. So we have the essentially the Gorman plot, which kind of was hinted at in the first 3 episodes, where the Empire is looking to set up kind of a central location there, and they are setting up and there's kind of resistance forming there. And the Empire is placing one of their own in there, which is Cyril, who's one of our main characters. And with the whole goal of giving them just the wrong information to have them do the wrong moves. And then we also have Luthen on the other side of that conflict, who put Andor there. He stayed there for a day and then came back and said, yeah, the Empire's too far along. It's a lost cause. And Luthen's like, but there's a resistance forming. Andor's like, yeah, but it's a lost cause. They're too far along. And I'm kind of with Luthen, kind of like, yeah, but they're getting ready to fight. They're prepared to fight. Andor, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I get it. Like, the Empire is really far along, but like, you take the fight where you can. Gotta fight the fascists, bro.
No, you do. You absolutely do.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm still not thrilled about this series, though.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of my complaints about it is I feel that they're trying to have too many moving parts at once.
There are a lot of moving parts here, absolutely.
And I kind of feel a lot of it is a little unnecessary. But like, they're starting to come together, and I see where and why we have all these moving parts to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still not that thrilled with it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mr. Idiotic, how are you?
Yeah.
I just feel like there'd be a bit more. Like I don't know. I just think that I still think that if they picked a better character to highlight it on, it would have been better.
I mean, I kind of get it, because like even like I felt like Cassian Andor was kind of picked because he was kind of more almost a neutral character. You know, he's not really neutral. He's definitely in the rebellion, but he's kind of more just. I don't even know the best word to describe him. I almost want to just say like boring. But yeah, he's not like a Luthen or a Saw Gerrera who are moving parts at different levels, or even a Mon Mothma, who is, you know, kind of in the more political sphere, very much getting offended by the Empire, but like, you know, still trying to figure out how to best deal with it at a political level. And then the Andor is just kind of the dude on the ground, and. I'm not gonna lie. Like, while I like this set of episodes, he was kind of pissing me off with this all like Gorman thing, where it's like, oh yeah, they're filling up a rebellion, but it's too late. It's like, it's too late. They're forming up a rebellion. Like, there's something you can do with that, bro. It's like they already know what's happening, but they took too long to respond. It's like, so you just give up on them? That seems like a terrible approach. Come on. Yeah, that was kind of really frustrating with me and Cassian on that one. But like,
Yeah.
Like I kind of get it. I guess maybe to give us they're using them to kind of give us more the other perspective, because I could see maybe having Saw or Luthen being a lead character would be a bit tougher to visualize yourself in that role, because they are definitely unique thinkers. but yeah, I don't know. I think there's an argument to that, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Overall,
well, I still kind of feel the same way, where I feel like it's I'll be blunt. I feel that, a lot of the Star Wars stuff that's been on Disney, it's been a bit more miss than hit for the most part. There's been some really great stuff. Like, I'm not gonna like dismiss a lot of it, but like,
yeah.
I think that if they were to, like I said last week, if they were to like maybe pick somewhere out on the outer rim of the galaxy or somewhere else and stick somewhere outside of the main canon, we would be just a lot better off with it.
Well, I mean, you did bring up something, and Anthony Grimuglia actually made a video kind of talking about this, kind of not directly, but I think it's worth bringing up again. Like, essentially, Disney did The Last Jedi, and they got a whole bunch of pushback, and ever since then, with I would say the exception of Andor, a lot of it's felt pretty fucking safe. And there also is the element that, like, we haven't had a Star Wars movie in 6 years now. And we, like, every, 6 months or so, we get a new Star Wars series. And it's like, cool, we get a new Star Wars series. That's cool. Seeing our piece of the universe. But it also feels so much less special than it used to. Like, when there was, like, a big trilogy movie every, 3 years, it felt like a big event. Even for the prequels, where I wasn't even a fucking fan of the prequels, but still, every 3 years, like, oh fuck, a new Star Wars, better check this one out. It felt like an event. And now, even if I like a lot of the projects, which I overall do, they aren't perfect. A lot of them have lots of flaws, but I overall like it. It just doesn't feel special, not remotely anymore. So yeah, I mean, I do feel like there is that element to the whole Disney Star Wars, how they're pushing out a lot more content. I definitely want to see Star Wars back on the big screen. That's for damn sure. And like, even though I like Andor and overall like a lot of stuff they produce, I definitely want less Star Wars TV series. I'm not even sure how much to limit it to, but like, yeah, a lot of the specialness of Star Wars, it's just not as special anymore. I'm trying to think of a good way to say it, because overall, like, I'm not saying it's all bad, because I overall like most of it, but it's like, it doesn't feel like an event anymore. It's just like, oh yeah, a new Star Wars thing's out, better check it out. And it used to be like, oh fuck, the new Star Wars thing's out, I gotta check it out. Now it's like, oh, I'm better. It's probably pretty good. Does that make sense? My little rant there.
That does.
Yeah, again, I like Andor. In fact, I would probably say Andor might be one of my favorite of the Star Wars TV series that Disney has done. I'm trying to think what else is there. I think it's really good.
Well, there's Mandalorian. Right out the gate.
It's totally decent. Yeah, I think Mandalorian's
There's
solid.
Book of Boba Fett.
You mean Mandalorian season 2.5?
Yeah. There's Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, which was solid.
There was Acolyte, which got panned for some reason. I thought it was.
Yeah, it was a mixed bag, but it wasn't like the worst thing ever.
No. Actually, you know what? Give me a moment. I have another tab. I'm just gonna open it right now.
There was Ahsoka, which I thought was solid as
Ahsoka, yes.
well. Yeah,
Yeah, I felt there was Obi-Wan.
yeah. Obi-Wan definitely had its issues, but like it was like the overall plot I thought was decent. I don't know. Yeah, it's like
Oh, there's apparently so much more different series on here that there's
I know there's
animated
lots of
stuff on
animated
here.
stuff as well,
Yeah.
which I haven't been keeping up with at all.
No, there's let's see. It looks like there's Tales of the Jedi, which looks
Visions,
decent.
Rebels,
Tales of the Underworld.
Bad Batch is another
Bad
one.
Batch,
They
yeah.
did the final season of Clone Wars as well.
Yeah, there's Visions. It looks like it's done in the same animation style of Clone Wars, which Clone Wars was pretty fucking alright. Like, that series.
And you know what? Like, I feel like maybe one of the most experimental things we got, well, outside of Andor, one of the most experimental things we got in Star Wars since Last Jedi was probably the Acolyte, like just some different time period shit. Yeah, it was different, and it was definitely had some walkiness to it, but it also had potential. So I feel like it's a shame that one got panned as hard as it did.
Well, I think people panned it just because female protagonist, and
yeah, there's a lot of that shit too.
Fragile little boy ego, and
there's too many women in this Star Wars. It's like, so what? So, it will always live in legend. Critical Drinker literally pausing on a frame and counting the white men in it. That is.
Did he really? Did he really do that?
He absolutely did that.
What a pathetic piece of shit!
It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Wow.
So that's where a lot of the outrage to it came from, and then I mean, there were people who weren't part of that outrage machine.
What
who
a
also
fucking
disliked
loser!
It, oh God, yes, absolutely. I will say my least favorite of all the Star Wars projects, TV series, I guess I'll be specific, is Book of Boba Fett. And the weird thing about Book of Boba Fett is I think if you look at each episode individually, they're solid. But if you look at it as one story, it's like an incomplete fucking story. Because it spends way too much with the Mandalorian.
It does, and I feel that hurts it, even though it was obviously there to give it a crutch. But they brought, what was it? They brought that bounty hunter in on there, the cowboy bounty hunter. I can't think of the character's name. I can't think of his name. That I was super hyped about. And what was the one that brought Thrawn in?
That was Ahsoka.
That was Ahsoka? Yeah, that was like, oh, fuck yeah.
That was cool to bring in Thrawn. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you can complain about, like, oh, Disney got rid of Legends and brought in and is redoing a lot of the canon. And they're ignoring the fact that, like, Disney is actually canonizing a lot of Legends. Thrawn was not a canon character before then. No, he was a Legends character. Like, there's so many characters that like are classic characters that are now canon in Star Wars.
No, now do I wish that they would actually make Dash Rendar and the Battle of Boba Fett and IG-88 and I'm gonna butcher this, but the Princess Zorro from Shadows.
Oh yeah, Shadows. Yeah,
that's what I want them to do. That's what I was hoping they would do when Disney bought it. And then like, they're like, we're going to make new stuff, expand on everything. I'm thinking, oh, cool. Shadows of the Empire. And then they go, but all those books in the canon, we're going to pick and choose what we're going to make canon and not. I'm going, oh, that kind of sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to see. Like I said, I would be down for.
There wasn't much of anything in the world of Star Wars for the longest time until 1991, which was the first book that was the Thrawn trilogy.
Yes.
I believe. That
was it the Timothy Zahn one? It might have been.
Yeah. That picked up at like a few years after Empire.
I think that's what a lot of people were looking for as well. Like, they wanted to see a young Luke Skywalker out there kicking ass, and it's like the movies are picking up like 30 years later. We're not going to get that, guys. At least not with Mark Hamill. Sorry. At least.
No, they'd have to recast. They'd have to recast Luke, Han, and Leia.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, there's a couple people where I know they brought up bringing in Sebastian. Like a lot of people brought up bringing in Sebastian Stan as just a younger Luke Skywalker. And I will admit, like the motherfucker looks so much like Mark Hamill when he was younger. If he shaves off his facial hair,
He could pull it off.
yeah. I know there's that lookalike for Harrison Ford that does a good job as well. I don't know about Carrie Fisher. But of course, yeah, I know lots of people want the original actors too, and it's like,
no, Carrie's dead, so
yeah, we're not getting Carrie back in any way. But yeah, Andor's good, but I also missed that when Star Wars was special. I guess that's my conclusion.
Yeah,
Anything
I did
like
Bobby? I did enjoy the heist episode of this.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that was the third one. That's kind of what they were building up to.
Yeah, I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
That actually got me a little excited about the series.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yes, more of that, please.
Well, I imagine we're gonna get more stuff like that as we go.
I hope, because
the
first batch, we only had any real action in the last 10 minutes of it.
Yeah, well,
and
I mean,
it really pissed me off,
setup.
actually.
Yeah,
because me
like
off, actually.
what we're seeing is like largely this season feels like it's gonna be like Gorman's gonna be like the main battleground, and you have Luthen like looking at the rebels trying to see where he can help him, but in the shadows. But you also have the fucking Empire. I don't remember the woman's name, but she's has Cyril down there. The Empire has their ears in the rebellion as well, and they're kind of just doing this espionage game, which I am really interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I like what they were doing there, and I want to see more of it.
Yes. Anything you want to add, or shall we go into Thunderbolts?
Let's get into the Thunderbolts.
Yes. So we'll go ahead and do a little bit of spoiler-free stuff, but I definitely want to get into spoilers on this. Real quick, I will say, as someone who is a huge fan of the original Thunderbolts run by Kurt Busiek and Mark Bagley, fantastic. I love that role, and I was excited when they announced that Thunderbolts would be on the slate. And then when he announced the cast, I was so fucking confused because I was like, that's not Thunderbolts. That's not the classic Thunderbolts. And I will go ahead and say there is one element of this that I will say is very Thunderbolts-like. But like overall, this is not the classic Thunderbolts at all. That being said, it's also worth saying, Marvel has never been particularly comic book accurate. Oh yeah, there is a couple images through here. We'll go through those a bit more because there's a couple of placements of characters I think are interesting after watching the movie. But I guess go over my broad thoughts on this. I overall really thought this was fucking good. This is probably my favorite MCU movie since Guardians 3. Which is only a couple years ago, but like I love Guardians 3 as well. I wouldn't say this is quite as good as that, but like I love how these are like
same
all
level.
Like yeah, definitely, yeah. These are all like kind of like broken fucking characters dealing with shit, and I love that aspect.
What's really good about this is I can tell like the parts that were like the stuff that was written by. I could tell like when it was written by the guy who helped write Love and Thunder and when it wasn't. Let me just say that.
Well, I mean, God, yeah. No, like I said, like all these characters are broken in their own way. And it's all kind of like I'm trying to think of a good way to describe it, because like the ending to me, when I was watching kind of the ending when they're, not to get too deep into the details, but when they're doing like the final showdown, it just feels like the darkness is just overtaking them, and they're reaching like this fucking bottom, and they have to just like rise above it. And I just love that aspect. And I love
everything
like
just seems so hopeless.
Mhm.
That, yeah.
You know, the beginning sets you up right there where it's like Yelena is just like fucking hating her life and doing these missions, and you just see her step off a building, and of course she's got a parachute, but like
Well,
the idea of what's going on there is clearly being
she had a wire
told.
though, but she actually did that. The actress herself, like Florence
Oh,
Pugh,
she did the stunt?
she actually did that stunt.
Well, let me go ahead and say, just I don't feel like this is much of a spoiler. So, like, going into this and look at the trailers, I wasn't sure who the lead would be, and I kind of assumed it would be Bucky as the lead. And it's not. It's very much Elena's movie.
Yeah, Bucky kind
Um,
of takes the back seat in this one.
But fuck, man, she does a fantastic job. I have nothing but praise for Florence Pugh's performance in this. Honestly, nothing but praise for the cast in its entirety.
Yeah, and
Um,
I gotta say this though. Hold on, I gotta look up the name. Here, keep going. I'm gonna look up what I need. I don't have my note in front of me.
No, okay. Are like for a cast member or
actor name? Yeah, just go. I got it. Here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's lots of like Wendell Pierce doesn't have like a massive role here, but it's an important role. I love him in it. But like Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan.
Here it is. Jesus Christ, Wyatt Russell. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I feel that anyone who had anything negative to say about him from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, yeah, we owe him a huge apology because he was.
Well, I mean, I think it's what we're saying.
Phenomenal in this.
So, like, yeah, the character's a dick, but like, that's his performance, and he does a good fucking job. I mean, that's John Walker.
That's who John Walker is. Yeah.
Yeah. If you know who John Walker is, it's kind of who the fuck he is. Like, he's kind of like the government stooge character that lots of people assume Captain America was. And yeah, he gets fucked over by the government, becomes US agent. He has an arc. And yeah, he's kind of a fucking dick. But yeah, he's like I said, everybody's fucking good in this. I kind of like how like David Harbour's in Red Guardian, he almost doesn't have a place here, but he forces himself in because he kind of views Yelena as his daughter and he's going to be there for her. And it kind of fucking works. You know, he's like, fuck it, I'm going to be there for you. Whereas everybody else kind of comes together naturally. He's just kind of like, I'm just gonna show up because Yelena needs me. Yeah. Overall, I like the cast. I like how they deal with like trauma and action.
That aspect of them talking about their shared trauma and depression, because depression takes a forefront in this story, and they handle it very accurately,
really well,
very well. Yeah, like it's enough to where you deeply feel what these characters are going through.
I feel like lots of people, if you've lived long enough, you've reached a rock bottom moment in your life.
Yeah.
And this movie reflects it like really well, kind of like what happens after that. Like, because there's an after that. And what do you do after that? And like for just a silly comic book movie, it handles it well.
Yeah, and I think that is why I've seen that comparison to Guardians 3 a lot with this film, and I feel like that is exactly why, because with Guardians 3 we learn about loss, love, and family, and unfortunately all three of those things love and loss go with family because that happens, but it's also how we go forward and move forward from it.
Yes.
And this has very mirroring themes to it as well, and yeah, that was great. Also, though, Lewis Pullman, Jesus, he looks just like his fucking dad. And
I was watching it and like, okay, he's got to be Bill Pullman's son, right? Because like the Pullman name, obviously, but like goddamn, he looks like his dad if that's his son. It'd be wild if his dad.
Well, it's the same as like with
Jack.
Jack Quaid, how Jack looks a lot like a younger version of his dad.
Well, yeah.
But
well,
as he's
Jack,
getting older, he looks a little bit more like Meg.
to me, Jack Quaid's always looked like the perfect mix of his parents, which I guess is normal for most kids. But like, it's holy shit,
it is. But I think he looks like young, like first season. Well, okay, Hunger Games. Yeah, he looks like a younger version of his dad. But like now, I see more of his mom. Like I see more of Meg Ryan in him. But yeah,
I could see. Yeah.
Also, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She was just always just. She was such a bitch. Such a bitch. But you know what? Yes. I loved every second of it.
Yeah, she was atrocious. But yeah, I mean, if you're wondering, she is pretty much the main villain. I don't really feel like that's much of a spoiler at all. But before we get into spoiler section, one big thing I want to talk about is how a lot of the action is shot. I liked a lot of this action. It's like clear, well done. The intro action scene with like Yelena in that dark hallway with all those guards, I thought looked really cool. There's lots of really cool action scenes here overall. I think it's really well handled. Like I said, this is a solid fucking movie.
This is
I recommend it. Yeah. This is a very good entry in the MCU yet again.
And this did something with a Marvel movie that it hasn't done for me personally in a long time. And that's get me excited about what's coming next.
True.
And with that, we could segue into spoilers.
And I will say before we get full-fledged into spoilers, I do have, I guess, kind of a minor complaint, but definitely a complaint here. And I'm not going to get into it till we get into spoilers. So if you haven't seen this yet, we're going into spoilers.
I want to say one more thing before we get into it. I was another performance I really loved because, well, he always gives a great performance, is David Harborough. Like,
yeah.
Oh my God. And just there was one line that he said that really got me right in the feels. And it was like the thing I missed the most is just saving the everyday people on the street.
Yes.
That is what I missed the most.
And we'll get into there's a heartbreaking moment, but we'll get into that in spoilers. But
yes. That's oh yeah, and also Bucky's a congressman in this, by the way, guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, they set that up in Brave New World, but yeah, he's totally a congressman.
I kind of forgot all about it, and I was like, oh, that's right, he was. And then it said congressman. Oh fuck, he won! Hell yes, Bucky.
Yeah, well done.
Him handling the press. Hilarious.
He obviously was like, this is a very worrying situation that we all have to worry about, and it's all very worrying.
I want the people of Brooklyn not to be so worried about it. Yeah. And I'm gonna I'm gonna handle it so the people in my district of Brooklyn won't be worried.
Yeah, it's like
in my theater, I was the only one who apparently the only one who found humor in that scene.
Oh, I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious.
But I guess let's dive into spoilers.
Okay. First, right off the bat, I want to say one spoiler right off the bat.
Yeah.
So Taskmaster is in this quite briefly.
Yes.
And gets dispatched very quickly.
Yeah, no, I have a serious question. What the fuck was the point of her in this movie?
I don't know. I mean, obviously not to kill Yelena, but that was about it.
Yeah,
I at first thought, oh, it's Taskmaster, they'll be okay. Nope, nope, they're fucking dead. So
yeah, and I assumed I assumed not everybody would survive this. I was like, okay, somebody will probably die. And I assume probably a death to make sure the stakes are real towards the end, or maybe a death that someone has to pay for later. Ghost kills Taskmaster in this very quickly at the beginning, and then that's it. And I'm like,
Miguel, we'll get into that in a little bit, actually. Okay, we're gonna finish talking about this, but yeah, I have some things I want to say about that, and as I'm sure you do too, Bob.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll get into that in just a bit.
God, yeah, we can talk about that because I'm not even sure how that's gonna fucking work.
we'll fuck it. It'll be like Trump College and Trump Steaks, Trump University, and the casinos.
But
anyways,
I don't know what the fuck the point of Taskmaster was in this. You could have just written her out.
Cannon fodder. That was the point.
But it doesn't really raise the stakes. It's done way too early and way too just nonchalantly to raise the stakes or make me feel like anybody's in danger at that point. It's kind of
No.
and my first thought was, okay, so Ghost kills her, so maybe Ghost will sacrifice herself at the end, and that that's kind of just her penance for killing her or something, which feels kind of unnecessary because they didn't really establish that there should be a penance for necessarily killing her. But okay, but no, just Ghost kills her, and that's it. It's like, oh, okay. That's really my biggest complaint in the movie, because I was like, well, why even have Taskmaster here at that point? Oh, and I did want to kind of go over some of these pictures, because there's one I came across very early on. Well, that's the beginning. That's actually really cool. But wait, do we? Let's see. Oh, here we go. Remember that scene? Remember how Taskmaster was totally in that scene?
Yes. I when this scene popped up in the movie, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
you got to
no,
give
so-
Marvel credit, for like, even look at the bottom of the image near Taskmaster's feet. We
Yeah.
still see the reflection of it on the floor, just like we do for Red Guardian too.
No,
So
it
like,
makes me wonder if maybe they had her there to film some of this stuff just so they could throw it in the trailer spots. So, because it looks like she's genuinely there. It doesn't look like a computer added. Maybe she is, in which case it's really well done. But yeah, I guess kudos for hiding that. But yeah, that and it also worth talking about, like, this is the scene leading up to their confrontation with Sentry. So one of the characters, like we brought up Louis Pullman in the non-spoiler section. He is Sentry. He is this is their lead up to their confrontation with him. And it goes about like I would expect, knowing these different characters' power levels. In that he literally just kicks the living shit out of them.
no, actually, at this point, I was wondering, okay, out of all the Avengers that have left, who's the only one that could actually compete? And I just kind of made like maybe Thor.
Yeah. Thor and Hulk, maybe.
Hulk.
Like, none of these guys are on that level.
No, not at
They're
all.
miles away from that level.
I mean, yeah, even John, who has some of the super serum.
Mm-hmm. Well, so does Red Guardian, but yeah.
Well, he has the Soviet version.
Yes.
Another line that I just found fucking hilarious.
Well, I guess we have. I didn't really think about it. We have 3 guys with the super soldier serum, because there's Bucky there as well. He's got the Hydra version.
Yeah, that exchange. The two of them,
Yeah.
I never thought I wanted to see the two of them in a scene together, but
yeah, that was an awesome exchange. I love the character work here.
yeah.
But yeah, I love like Sentry's always been a questionable character. And I was always kind of interested.
Sentry
to see
was
how
like
they handle him.
created. Well, he was created as like Marvel's answer to Superman, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, but as normal, Marvel didn't want to just do like Superman, so he's got all these mental issues, which I think they did a good job of presenting him in this movie.
I would want to see a Superman that's like that, but
Yeah,
in the comic world, we have a Homelander, so
yeah, a whole different level. But
yeah,
but yeah, God, there. I guess we'll another big spoiler I want to get into. This is a Thunderbolts movie in that it's totally a bait and switch, because I'll spoil the comic book because it's like 30 fucking years old at this point.
There was a newer version which matches the lineup we have now.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there is, but the classic comic book is after the death of the Avengers and the Fantastic Four. There's like a vacuum of superheroes. We have the X-Men and the Spider-Man still, but there's like a vacuum of superheroes, and the Thunderbolts rise up to fill that vacuum and essentially be the new Avengers. And they're out there and they're saving the day. And the big twist at the end is that they're actually not they're actually not superheroes. They're guys we've known for a while. They're actually the masters of evil. and they're doing that to gain the public's trust to get access to essentially government secrets and shit like that. They're full-fledged doing supervillain shit. And that's the original Thunderbolts. This doesn't really have a whole lot to do with that. But they reveal, because like the title of the movie is Thunderbolts, caveat. And what is the caveat? The caveat is that they're the new Avengers, which tonally, because I've read the new Avengers, well, part of the new Avengers, the early part of the new Avengers run from Brian Michael Bendis, and tonally, this actually fits a bit closer with that than it does with the original Thunderbolt. So it's kind of a bait and switch movie almost completely, which is kind of an interesting take. There's only one real member that crosses over between the two, and that would be Sentry. But although I guess, well, I mean, he is a new Avenger at the end. He just doesn't spoil it. We're in the spoiler section. He doesn't really have powers at the end. He hasn't figured them out yet. But
yeah, I'll say one thing I found absolutely hilarious is how when we first see Alexei, Red Guardian, he's watching some old footage of him, and actually a comic book accurate outfit in that footage, which I thought was a very nice touch. But then he was still all about communism, but like near the end of the movie, and even in the post-credit scene, total capitalist.
Oh God, yes.
And I thought that was just absolutely hysterical.
I guess, I mean, we're in the full-fledged
spoiler territory right
spoiler
now, yes.
section, so we can talk about that post-credit scene. So it takes place 14 months after the end of the movie. They've been the new Avengers for a while. Apparently Sam Wilson's put together another Avengers team and is not happy with them being the Avengers. Although I do feel like it's like, can they not talk? I guess Bucky tried to talk to him and it's not going well. And I'm like, I kind of want to see that backstory. Like, why is it not going well? Like, you guys were like getting good.
You guys were getting fairly tight. Like, you guys went from like barely speaking to each other to Bucky being comfortable
almost
with
best friends. Yeah.
Well, to you being comfortable with Sam calling you the same nickname that Steve called you. Like, that's leaps and bounds of growth. And I want to know what happened between them. Like, did they have a falling out over the whole Ross scenario? Or
maybe, I don't know.
Did Sam get angry that Bucky didn't call him for Sentry? And you know what? I have something else to say. And I think about this anytime they show anything in New York City. The fuck with Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Like, you don't think they could have used him, or he could have helped with, like, I don't know, parts of the building scaffolding falling?
He was busy.
Being what? A college kid?
Yes, he was busy.
That nobody knows. Nobody
knows him, by the way.
Certainly not because of some silly ass fucking contract dispute between one film company and another. Which at this point,
God,
I feel the mouse just needs. I feel the mouse just needs to put the bank up for it and just be like, you know what, fuck you, Sony. Name your price.
Yeah. But
name the price.
Oh yeah. So I guess to finish up the conversation on that post-credit scene. So it all wraps up with them talking about an extra dimensional ship in the air, and we get a close up and it's the Fantastic Four ship. So obviously,
and that we know. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, I'm like pumped Fantastic Four after that, but. Yeah. So obviously, we know the Fantastic Four takes place in an alternate universe, and we know they're going to end up in this universe now. So what's going to happen in that alternate universe? Is it going to get blown up? Are they just going to have to run away? We're going to find out in a couple months. But that does have me really pumped for Fantastic Four at this point. This movie really did a great job. I'm trying to think. I know there's more spoilers I wanted to really dive into.
Yeah, go on.
Oh yeah, you talk about how Red Guardian fucking, was just missed saving the people. And then there's that scene where that fucking boulder is falling down the building and it's on a girl. He
It's about to
jumps
crush a little
over.
girl.
Yeah, he jumps over, fucking looks fucking hellacious, throws his literally his back into it to protect this little girl from getting crushed by this rock. And he's just like, and you just see him just so happy he saved her. And then just a second later, she's like blinked out of existence. It's like, oh,
so
fuck. That
when I
was
got home,
dark.
I did some like things that we might like. I watched one of those like breakdowns of this movie or things you might have missed while watching it, sort of thing. I want to say it was from Energy Awesome. I'm not sure, but so production note. So the look of them being gone, the shadow left on the street.
Yeah.
They straight got that idea from the H-bomb in Hiroshima. How after it went off, there was like literally shadows that left the people. Yeah, and watching that and thinking about that whole sequence now, going, fuck. Like, shit, that's dark. Like, that's dark, Marvel.
No, it did that, and I went, fuck, Marvel, you went there. Holy shit.
Yeah, and when they went into that void, that was also just like, shit. Like, this is, and even the depression stuff, because like you said, if anyone in their adult life, if you haven't had a bottom yet, good for you. And keep that up. And I mean that. But if you have, and then you know that it's a rough place, and
it is.
Them depicting it, and even in that void with like, even the foreshadowing early in it when we first see her going into that building and she finds that adorable little guinea pig. In the maze.
God, yeah.
Because later, she and Bob were in a maze and she helped. And even how Alexi was saying, when you were younger, you could light up a room with just your presence. And she was the light for Bob. And that's like, we all should have our light and never let it be extinguished. And yeah.
Oh, so another aspect, this is such a superficial thing.
Yes, AJ. Yes, AJ, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Where the fuck was he during Board Again, too? Like,
he was busy,
guys. We know they're in the same fucking goddamn universe now. That is unexcusable.
Busy.
Do you realize how quickly he would dispatch, or not really dispatch, just web up all those little wannabe fucking Punisher cops? Yes, and yes, Mr. Anthony Dog, and Yelena and Bob. Yes, they are just, and yes, they are the perfect power duo.
Crap, I forgot. I got derailed for a second. There was one more thing I desperately wanted to bring up, but
yeah, because Spider-Man's not fucking in this. Sorry,
but yeah, like I said, I like all the actors. I like the cast. I like how they deal with depression and just like hitting rock bottom. As someone who has hit a rock bottom, that is
likewise
fucking shit.
Yes, that was very, very powerful shit, and it was just fuck. Like, it even had me sitting in my car a few minutes afterwards, just sitting in front of the theater, going, "Shit,
yeah,
god damn, that was fuck."
I wasn't really sitting in the car, but as I was driving home, it's like, god damn, like this movie sticks with you. Like it makes you. I'm excited to rewatch it. Honestly,
AJ, so are you saying that was Bully Maguire that we had then?
Ooh, yeah. Where is Bully Maguire?
He's putting sand in people's eye or dirt in their eye. Dirt in their. Well, yeah, this isn't Anakin Skywalker. It's dirt in your eye.
Yes.
I just want to see Sam Raimi make another Dark Man.
I am down. Holy shit. Get Liam Neeson
back. An older, angry Liam Neeson.
Yes. And have his main disguise be Bruce Campbell. Let's do it.
You mean no, we can't though, he's Papa Pepe or Pizza Papa.
Oh, true. Well, that's a different universe, though.
That was a different
We could
universe.
reveal that Pizza Papa in that universe is actually Darkman in disguise.
And was Mysterio.
That would be awesome. Crap, I forget why I was. Oh, yeah, the superficial thing I wanted to... Yeah, the superficial thing. It's kind of superficial, but I'm happy that they did this. So, like, they reveal that Valentina has a kill switch for Sentry when, essentially Sentry beats up the Thunderbolts. He doesn't kill them because he kind of worked, like there was a moment where like they all kind of worked together, so he didn't like want to kill them, but like he also kind of realizes he's way more powerful than her, and he doesn't need to be taking orders from her. So she has a kill switch, and the kill switch is hit and doesn't kill him, which I'm happy they did that, because I'm not gonna lie, like I thought Black Widow was fine as a movie, but it drove me nuts that they just had this magic thing that could fucking fix everything and just take care of the villains. I'm not gonna lie, that type of shit drives me nuts. Where it's like, we just have this fucking smoke that fixes everything.
Yeah. I believe the term is the Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah. just the easy solution. I was really happy when they activated that kill switch so early in the movie. I was like, thank God that kill switch will not be like, because when they introduced that, I was so concerned it would just be a thing where it's like, oh, Sentry's gonna get us all, but there's a kill switch and we just gotta find it and press it and save the day. I was like, don't fucking do that, and they didn't. Thank you.
No. Even in the Void, with the Void, what I loved is how like we spent mostly with Bob's past and demons.
Yeah.
And that was just like, just a good representation of that. Not to circle back to the depression thing, but just because it showed a lot of just, how when you're in that, you spend a lot of time in your own mind reliving the things that brought you there.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just like a beautiful representation of that. And even just, from him as a little boy. And that's where his started, because he was a very complicated character.
Yes. Well, I mean, a lot of the characters are really complicated. It's like I said, this is overall just a really good movie. Don't know why Taskmaster was in it, but that's probably my biggest complaint. But overall, like at the end of the day, like Taskmaster's there, she's dead. We move on.
Yeah.
Overall, really fucking good movie. One of the best ones Marvel's done since Guardians. Well, easily the best one I'd say Marvel's done since Guardians 3. As someone who overall enjoys a lot of the movies, this one hit me harder than the average Marvel movie. Just fucking well done. I want to see Marvel more like this more often, for sure.
Absolutely.
I know it can't always be like this, but God, I want it to always be like this. Anything you want to add, Bobby?
No.
Well, next week
is the big show, the 200th episode.
200th episodes. We're going to be discussing one of Bobby's all-time favorite movies. We're going to be discussing one of my all-time favorite movies, and we're doing the great trash the audience picked out.
And the fans' favorite movies.
Yeah, some of the fan favorite movies. But
we also got some
fun show.
Yeah, but we also got some other exciting stuff on the way. Later, the next big one that I'm gonna start plugging right now in August. We are doing one. Well, I've made mention that I am a bit of a pro wrestling fan, so we are going to be plugging one of the greatest professional wrestlers ever to step inside the squared circle, and that is the
Rowdy
immortal.
Piper?
No. I was being very facetious with this, but yes, it is Hulk Hogan. Apparently, we have a show that falls directly on his birthday this year, and that special is just going to be called the Let Me Tell You Something, Brother, a Hulk Hogan birthday special, brother, where we cover 3 of Hulk Hogan's movies, and we talk about some of his finer points in his career. Spoiler alert, he is a fucking liar. So
no way.
Along with being
Hulk
a racist.
Hogan a liar?
Along with being a racist.
He is.
But
God,
this
everything
October,
I've heard about him is that he's just terrible.
I've been tagging you and stuff just to give you some study material. And Jesus Christ,
I've heard plenty about him. I mean, I remember not that long ago, Jesse Ventura talking about when he was trying to get the wrestlers unionized, and he literally sold them out for a fucking pay raise. And it's like, you motherfucker.
Such a piece of shit, right? Even though Jesse Ventura is a little fucking out there, you kind of respect him a little bit more for that, right? Like,
absolutely. Listen, I don't agree with everything Jesse Ventura said.
He's also a veteran,
but
he's also a veteran, so I still got some respect for him too on that. But I also did a preemptive October takeover of scary movies too.
Nice. I didn't even notice that. But that sounds like fun.
And I also added something to our docket in September and August, the end of August.
Well, I will definitely be poking around there.
Yeah.
Well, I know there's also something I haven't seen in a while. You brought it up, and I've seen advertisements for it. Like, I guess Netflix is doing a revival of Tremors. Fuck, I haven't seen that movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I forget where that's coming out, but I was gonna add that. I haven't looked that up yet. But yeah, that is. But
I haven't
we
seen
also
that since
have.
I was a kid. I remember enjoying the shit out of it.
There's also one that falls on my birthday this year, so that one I'm picking 3 other of my favorite movies.
Nice.
Which are all ones
Oh,
that
yeah,
I think
yeah,
we
I
were
remember
talking
those,
about.
yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about, and all I think 2 of those were ones that you said you had never seen before, and I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah, I've never seen Equilibrium or Fallen.
But
they're both
we
been
are
on,
also
like, I've been interested to watch, so a good excuse.
But we're gonna finish up the Universal Monsters that we didn't. We got the one that we didn't get to last week. I think that and Bride, right? Yeah.
And for my birthday, we get to talk about Hulk Hogan.
That's right. Happy birthday, buddy.
God damn it.
Did I really put? Yes, I did.
Well, AJ, I don't know how brutal Sentry would be if it was rated R, because the Sentry we see here, like, he's definitely got issues, but like in their big fight, like, he definitely isn't interested in killing them. He definitely thrashes them around, but at the same time, you can also clearly tell aren't really a threat to him, and he just genuinely doesn't want to kill him because
Oh yes, wow,
that
lousy. Oh yes, wow, that lousy, stinking, no good jabroni Hulk Hogan. We're gonna be ripping on him the whole episode.
Yes, famous piece of shit Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, fuck Hulk Hogan. In the immortal words of the Iron Sheik, fuck the Hulk Hogan.
For
He's
sure.
another guy who absolutely hated him. God, his Twitter account was so worth it.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Anything you want to add, Bobby, or are we wrapping up?
No, we are wrapping up.
All right. Well, I my streams on Thursday have become very unreliable. I have a solo stream scheduled for Thursday and Saturday this week. I'm hoping to do both, but statistically, I should get one in. And then we still have the initiative happening on Wednesday. So those should be happening. Worst case scenario, I will get extra time this week to actually work on my Captain America video. So I'm hoping to get that out this weekend. Hoping. And then I can work on other projects. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. Please be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.
Yes.